property of Senator Rachel Seward. Well, may I suggest to the Senator to get something a bit more appropriate and something a bit more technical, that we can get our voice right across the city face, not restricted to a group of 10 to 20 people. Anyway, we'll proceed. War-torn, I stumbled out of bed this morning and I got myself ready for the struggle. World religions are weapons of mass destruction. I give my most honoured respects to the spiritual world of our ancestors. I walk in the shadows of our great warriors as I listen to the whispers of the wisdom of our elders. I am sightless without eyes in the darkness as it falls over our communities, which are plagued by chaos, trauma, pain and suffering. In the rolling thunder I hear the movement of the Creator, the great Woggle, the rainbow serpent, as it creates the last rainbow between water and the most inner bones of the mother of our Budja, as it feels the blood that soaked the massacre grounds of the oldest ceremonial sites on the earth. I walk amongst the prongrops, the oldest granite formations on the planet. I see the eyes of our old people as they emerge from the stone, strong, proud, released from the loving arms of the Budja into pure utopia, where flora first bore colour, the red of the kangaroo paw. Then the white man came. He came with his poisons, rum, guns, bayonets, deceit, lies and trickery. Then death befell our people. Today, driving here through East Perth, I had many memories. I worked in East Perth when I first started working in the Aboriginal community nearly 40 years ago. And I saw the images of our people to whom lived on the fringes in great camps known as the Bull Paddock, Miller's Cave and the Starlight Hotel. I give my recognition to the great people that I had the honour of meeting. Sam Skinny Ugle, the great storyteller. Herbert Squire Brotho, the great musician. Nummy Phillips, the great harmonica player. Ethelides, the barefoot yoga matriarch of the ancient tracks of the great peoples of the Bibbulmun tribes. Johnny Garlett, legendary boxer. Dorothy Michaels, and so many, many others to whom I can't and haven't got time to mention other than to say and to mention the great artists, as you heard the name Revel Cooper, Malcolm Ellis, Ronald Hart, poets and human rights advocates who lived and died on the fringes of the city that was built on their traditional ancestral Budja. They were a great and proud people. They were the last of the mission children. They were the last of the stolen generations that merged into East Perth to link up with their families. I remember becoming one with those people. And I remember vividly how they washed away the pain of their suffering through alcohol and substance abuse. They were people of great character. I want to give recognition today to the Aboriginal symbolic of recognition of our rights to our traditional lands, the Aboriginal flag, the red, black and yellow. The red representing the blood loss of our great warriors and the red ochre of the totem and the significant moieties of our life, the black of the people and the yellow circle the sun the giver of life. I live by that symbol. I don't recognise the Australian flag. It's a butcher's apron, blood-stained with the death of our people, and represents the dominance of the Union Jack in the southern skies of where our great old people stories ran through and gave evidence of our creation that they now lay claim of ownership over. I reject with every sense and essence of my spirit. It is a butcher's apron, bloodstained with the death of our people. Dumbartung does not recognise the political distractions of the absurdity of welcome to country, nor the payments that are received by our elders to carry out this feel-good white perception. Dumbartung does not believe in the Recognise campaign to be included in the white man's constitutional laws of rise and deceit. Dumbartung does not believe in the theatrics of our ancient cultural practices of smoking ceremonies to be validated as part of society's inclusion into our customs and our religious ceremonies. Dumbartung does not believe in our traditional spiritual stories and that are sold to the wealth of entrepreneurial investment and profit. Today we say strongly to all the multinational mining companies such as FMG, Rio Tinto, Chevron, Woodside, and all those who have infiltrated our cultural business, such as the NAIDOC celebrations, that there are many of us who know that your intrusion nullifies our resistance and ownership and dispossesses us of our own control over our own lives and future. Yes. You don't fool us. You serve the interests of those who have sold out their identity for a blood-stained, dirty dollar. Yes. This also includes all of the many local shires who have taken it upon themselves to capitalise on our business through their filthy, deceiving reconciliation action plans, and divide the unification and the strength of our people. Dumbartung calls for the immediate ceasing of songsters and choirs that are made up of non-Aboriginal people singing in Aboriginal languages, the national anthem and all other offensive songs. Dumbartung encourages all cultural practitioners and spiritual industrialists to stop selling and capitalising on the colonisation of the bloodshed of our ancestors. Dumbartung encourages Aboriginal people across Australia to engage in a cultural revolution of change that ultimately will stop the abuse and capitalising on our precious birthright to the oldest living culture on the most ancient landmass on the earth. Don't sell our cultural and spiritual identity to the privileged white affluent world of consumerism and greed. Protect and nurture our culture for our young people, to connect to their sense of belonging and heal our shattered spirits with resilience and pride. A war has raged across this country for over 240 years. It's been one of the planet's longest raging wars. We hear every week nationally throughout the world's media about the young men and the men and women who die on the Gaza Strip. More Aboriginal people die in this country every night through genocide and the Holocaust. And the Holocaust in Latin means fire. And yet the death of our young people through the pandemic of suicide, incarceration and mental health hardly raises a whisper. Our leadership is broken. Our leadership is fragmented. Our leadership is academically and politically appointed. They walk futile throughout the white man's greatest buildings of genocidal representation through Parliament House. They walk blindly into the walls. They don't represent us as Aboriginal people. They never have. Leadership is also and can be created through the media. I have in my time seen media-created leadership. And if you fall to self-centred, egotistical needs within your own life, and your leadership is created by media, bear one thing to be true. The media can literally destroy as quick something that it can create with a flick of a pen. For the white man's weapons of the pen today are as structurally dangerous and more compelling to the death of our people than was the gunpowder and the bayonets used in the killing fields. Government-appointed leadership is elite. It's academically appointed and politically influenced. Our people have been disconnected from the very need of the struggle in which Aboriginal people face on a day-to-day basis. Aboriginal affairs can be an affluent and a very privileged, dirty, filthy little playground for many people. It can bring about richness. It can bring about flying 37,000 feet above the problem. It can bring about living off the best menus in five-star facilities, and it can bring about non-stop conferences, workshops, whilst our people lay strangled in places like Banksia Hill, which is made up of 90% of our young people, and the jail system 65% of our adults, while our people are flying over the top of the problem. We have to stop the Indigenous advancement strategy, the Prime Minister and Cabinet's funding being redirected to NGOs, football academies, church groups, state departments, everywhere and anywhere but within our own community. We must rise up as Aboriginal people, and we must take the fight to the government to ensure that the resources given to alleviate the impoverishment of our people is our fight for freedom and justice in this land. Too many non-Aboriginal interest groups are raping, pillaging, exploiting and plundering our resources for their own wealth and their own good. We must raise as a people. We must raise as a people, because our organisations aren't, and neither are the so-called leaders of our people. We must raise our level of activism against the 3 strikes and you're in for 12 months law, which has got the majority of our young people incarcerated into Banksia Hill. If we don't do that, we are at the edge and the brink of losing a whole generation. We must free our young people and bring them back home.
Shame on them government officials! Shame on you! Shame on you! You got our boys in the jail! Shame! They're the ones who are doing all the thing in the jail. They don't care! That's right! They don't care!
Who gave the right on Anzac Day? Who gave the right for the Maori people to go up to Katagarup? Who gave the right to an Indigenous race from outside of this country to do the haka, a war dance on the blood-stained ground of where our Wajak warriors fell in the defence of our country?
And Belia.
Who gave that right? Who sanctioned it?
He and my family did, and I've got the diary to that. Who gave them right? I inherited a diary last Sunday and a journal dated back in 1877. We're talking about all this colonisation and that there. It's shameful me standing here because I do carry the blood of these people that killed my people. Do you think how it feels for me to know that my bloodline on the European side doing this here?
So we have a couple of speakers, and I'm going to finish with this. I want to give great tribute. I want to give recognition to all of those people throughout the world, the Indigenous people to whom had suffered their death at a place called Wounded Knee in the United States of America, Pinjarra in Western Australia, the Black Roar of Rain in Tasmania, Mile Creek, Australia, Butchers and Skull Creek Massacres, Australia, Sand Creek Massacre, the Indian Lands, the United States of America, the Washita Massacre, the United States of America, the Appin Massacre, Australia, Forest River Massacre, Australia, the Mystic Massacre, the United States of America, the Forest River Massacre, Australia, the Mystic Massacre, the United States of America, the Bloody Falls Massacre, Northern Alaska, the Battle of Blood River, the Reaming Massacre, Africa. And to all those shackled, chained and transported to the death camp Rottnest Island, known in our language as Wanjamup, may your campfires burn forever. We want to accept the apology of sorry from the State Commissioner for the Police. He is a liar with a forked tongue. For if you have had your house doors bashed in with warrants and your son and daughters brutalised, and if you've been dragged into the concrete of cold cells early in the morning, or you've had to go and get your sons and daughters from the lockups, laying in winter with just their jocks on cold concrete, a sorry doesn't cut it. Sorry is one of the English language's most severe weapons, because sorry doesn't lay idle. Sorry needs a response. And what is the response that sorry cries out for?
Justice! Justice!
We forgive you, and we don't forgive them, not at all. For as Jesus said in the prophecies, and I'm not a Christian, but as he said in these prophecies, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. I say, Father, they knew exactly what they do. And religion, as I said at the beginning, is a mass weapon of destruction, and it's been dropped on all of the world's Indigenous peoples through the name of religion and political influence of those that have stuck their symbols of conquering right into the very heart of our mother. And may our campfires for us and for our young people's future, may our campfires burn forever.